I'm going to give you the rest of the story. Mueller, Andre Carson, talking to him. Pete Buttigieg running for president. Boy, y'all better buckle up, because we getting ready to go after the naked truth.
This is not a test.
If you listen to this program, you're going to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. This program is X-rated.
You ready?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
You are now tuned in.
Welcome. For those who don't know, this is Elder Mmoja Ajabu, your host for After Naked Truth. This program is designed to strip the clothes off of well-dressed lies, and because the truth will be unclothed, this program is X-rated. So I would suggest, if you can't stand the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth, you should situate yourself elsewhere, because you're listening to the most truthful talk show host in the business. I want to talk to you about City County Council Proposal 258. And if you were at the meeting this past Monday, I want you to chime in. You can text me on the live chat, and we can have a discussion, because I was concerned with how that vote went down. And if you are not familiar with City County Council Proposal 258, it was a chat. Paula, you on it already. How you doing? You can't hear me? Give me a check to say that you can hear me. But I'm gonna keep rolling. You know, at the City County Council meeting, there was a vote concerning the food desert that exists on the Far East Side. There was $900,000 available of tax money that the state had sent back to the city, and they wanted to put it in this year's budget. When they had the vote, and it was sponsored by Leroy Robinson at the behest of the mayor, he introduced 258. Lakeisha Jackson had an amendment, and she'd been meeting with a bunch of people. In fact, she came to a meeting of Economic Freedom Fighters of Indiana, and she was talking about how she was going to be for the people. I'm with the people. I've always been with the people. And when the final vote went down, of that $900,000 that was distributed, white boy got some, Hispanics got some, corporate got some lift, and the black man, A&I market, got none. Now, those counselors who are of African descent will tell us back in the community, we got to be on the council. If we're not on the council, then the rights of people of African descent will be overlooked. Yeah. So how is it that you are a counselor of African descent when it comes time for money to be distributed to a market that is owned by a man of African descent? He gets no money, but you give the Hispanics money, you give the white folks money, you give the corporate people money, And you mean to tell me that we're supposed to give you a pass just because you are of African descent? Nah. You need to go. And we're going to go. And when you're talking about Lakeisha, we need to get out with the old and in with the new. And at this point, Lakeisha has got a viable candidate. D. Ross is running. D. Ross needs to be supported. We need somebody that's from the community that will look out for the community and will not be voting against the community. Lakeisha, how do you do that, huh? After all that conversation we had, all that rhetoric that you ran, it's time for you to go. And then you standing up in there with Zach Adams, Joe Summers, and Joe ain't even gonna be on the council. He has nothing to pay. Come November, he through. They done already stabbed him in the back several times, but yet and still, he stood against the people, as did you. And this ain't personal. It's business. But you got to go, huh? And so we're going to get out of here and we're going to stomp the pavement for D. Ross, because D. Ross is running as an independent. The Democratic Party done already stabbed him in the back, but he was able to get the signatures necessary to run as an independent. And so we're going to be an independent. We're going to work with those who work with us. And I told you that when you're talking about Proposal 258. You deceived us and made us think you were working with us, and all the time you were working against us. That don't sit well, huh? And this ain't personal. But you got to go. D. Ross, he needs to be the next counselor in that district. I'm also concerned when you look at this situation with Mueller. And let me say one more thing toward 258. Antonio Liscombe, who I got problems with, but he is less of a problem, I believe, than Zach Adams. Zach, y'all know Zach, accused child molester. Yeah, he was accused by more than one young child. Said they held the child in prison in his own place. He voted against or with Lakeisha and Leroy, Maggie. Yeah, I'm calling Keith Graves. All of them voted to give money to the white man, to corporate interests, to the Hispanics, and not one dime to the black man. And they want us to think that they are with us. They're with the community. They're representing the best interests of the community. No. They got to go. And so Antonio Lipscomb has qualified to run as an independent against Zach Adams. I'm saying that we as a community, the people of African descent that lives in those districts, should also vote for those people. Tony, what do you say? All politicians do what it takes to get elected. You hear it. But see, what they're going to do is get them unelected. They may be good for a year, then they get in line with what I guess powers that be say. You're exactly right. They're sellouts. They're traitors. And they think just because they look like you and me that they ought to get a pass. And in the past, they have gotten a pass. But that is over with. No more of that, Doc. I'm telling you, you're listening to the most truthful talk show host in the business. Unbought, unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. And see, I was out in Washington, D.C. this past weekend. And I had a number of people out there telling me that they watched the show. Now, you won't know about this local issue, but you will know about this national issue, which I'm getting ready to talk about. And that is the testimony of Robert Mueller on yesterday. Did y'all see that? That man, he was senile. He was, somebody would ask him a question, can you read the question again for me, please? Well, how did you carry out the investigation and your cognitive process was challenged? I mean, he's 74 years old, and that doesn't mean that he couldn't be sharp. I know a lot of 74-year-olds that whose mind is sharp as a tack. But this dude was so dull. He was far from being the sharpest knife in the drawer. I mean, and the Democrats had the nerve to push him out there. And to my understanding, they knew that he was senile. They knew that his elevator didn't go all the way up. And I'm not saying anything or trying to be harsh. I'm just talking about critical observation. The dude wasn't there. And then they had the nerve to ask him questions, and he couldn't comprehend what was going on. He couldn't process it. And so he was giving out, do you believe that or even here, did you make a decision? Yes. Was it a good decision? Yes. Did President Trump, did you exonerate President Trump? No. No kind of, what would I say, intellectual exchange. It was just like he was a little child asking with one word answer. But we had asked Andre Carson, who sits on the Intelligence Committee, who had an opportunity to question Mueller, and this document was sent to his office, faxed it, to his Washington, D.C. office. And as my representative, because I live in the 7th District, I asked Andre to ask Mueller, who authorized him to change the prosecution or declination tradition so that he could make a non-binary determination. And as a prosecutor, he's supposed to say either the person is guilty or not guilty. We're going to charge him or not. Mueller said, well, I'm not going to make that decision. I'm going to make a decision other than a binary decision, or one of the two. We wanted Andre Carson to ask Robert Mueller, who authorized you to change the tradition? Andre had 5 minutes. He didn't use all the 5 minutes. And he knew his constituency wanted an answer. He didn't ask it. Here we are again, just like the people of African descent that sit on the city county council. He's sitting up in the Congress. The people ask him to do something. The people ask him to represent them. And what they do is something that's entirely different from what the constituency asks. It's time for them to quit getting a pass just because they are of African descent. Tell me, I need to know what kind of time I'm working with. because I don't want to overgo what I got to say here. So now, that's that. That's the local level, the national level with local implications. We need new leadership. And it appears that there's going to be a contest of leadership on the national level when you're talking about the presidential race. And let me tell you, say now, it's too early for me to determine who I will support. But I want to make an analysis of something of how someone might be able to get the support of people of African descent. This dude, Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South Bend, when they do the poll says he comes up with zero support from the communities of African descent. Not 1%, zero. And some people will say, well, he can't get no support because he's a homosexual. Well, I don't know if that's the case. He's openly homosexual. But I don't know if that should be criteria for someone not to be able to get our support. Our support should be based on the positions that they take concerning our interests. You got people of African descent that sit on the city county council. Andre Carson sits up in the Congress, and they're not representing us. They're not looking out for our interests. So should we support them just because they are African descent? Or if a homosexual says, well, look, I'll look out for your interests, should we not support him if he will look out for our interests? I'm not talking about his lifestyle. What he do in his bedroom is his business. Don't bring his lifestyle to me. But if that's what he wants to do, then do your thing. But this is what I want to do. And this is what I'm saying. See, when I look at that race, Pete Buttigieg is the only person on the Democratic side that is in a political position to where it's that he has executive powers. He can do things unilaterally because he is the mayor. He is the chief executive officer of South Bend. And I'm saying that if instead of giving lip service, he done put out this position paper, which he calls the Frederick Douglass paper. And all of that is good. Frederick Douglass was an abolitionist. He wanted to fight to eradicate slavery. And all of that is good. But right now, that's just words on paper. That's lip service, Mayor Pete. See, if you're looking to get the support from the people of African descent in South Bend and in the country, you got to do something tangible. And you are in a position more so than any others. In fact, I think you're the only one in a position to do something unilaterally in the interest of people of African descent, to whereas that we could seriously consider you as a candidate. What is that? Well, when you got into office, you demoted the police chief, the black police chief, the police chief of African descent, Daryl Boykins, and you demoted him because he accidentally taped white South Bend police officers who was talking that racist talk. Instead of you firing the racist, you fired the man that was the victim of the racism. If you want the support of people of African descent, clean up things right there in South Bend. Release that tape of what those police officers were saying. Hold them accountable. Release the tape. And then when you were asked on national TV, had you listened to the tape, you said negatory. I didn't hear it. I didn't. Well, how in the hell did you fire or demote Chief Boykins and you didn't even listen to the evidence? I'm telling y'all, I'm unbossed, unafraid, the most truthful talk show host in the business. Mayor Buttigieg, if you want support, release the tapes. That ain't all we asking for. You know that Eric Jack Logan was killed by Ryan O'Neal. Ryan O'Neal says he was being chased with a knife by Eric, but Ryan didn't have on his body cam. That's breaking the policy. And he also had a camera in the car. That wasn't known. 2 other police officers showed up on the scene. Their body cams wasn't on. One of those, Nepper, actually transported Eric to the hospital. His camera wasn't on. Release that video. Both of those officers had dash cams. Release that video. If you want support from the people of African descent in America, take care of business in South Bend. Because Police Chief Scott Rizowski is not holding his police officers accountable, fire him. Get him up out of there. You gonna allow a police chief to be at the head of the police department who is not holding cops that make racist comments accountable? Cops who show up on the scene and kill a man and don't have their body cams on? You're going to allow the police chief to allow them to stay on the force? No. Fire him and them too. If you want support from the communities of African descent, take care of business in South Bend. And then when you fire Rizowski, appoint another police chief. And when you're talking about the vetting process, put the community, the people there in South Bend of African descent, put them into the conversation. Let them have some say-so over who is going to be over the police that police their communities. I'm talking to you, Mayor Pete. If you want support from people of African descent, you in a position to do something tangible. Everybody else pretty much got to pay lip service, but you can do something tangible. You can not only talk the talk, but you can walk the walk. We're looking for you to walk the walk. And we're saying until you walk the walk and take care of business in South Bend, you ought to suspend your run for president. How you going to run the country and you can't run South Bend? Little old South Bend. Small town Indiana. How you going to run big town America and you can't run small town Indiana? I'm telling you, I'm unbossed. Unbossed and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. And you need to get in touch with people. You need to let us know what's going on. How am I doing on time? I got 13 minutes left. Oh Lord. Mayor Buttigieg, we need for you to take care of business in South Bend. We don't need for you to be running for the president of the country to run the country, and you can't run the things in South Bend. And we don't care. You know, I don't. You know, what your personal likes or dislikes are. The question is, are you for us? Will you do something for us? It's obvious that the local leadership will do things to us. The local leadership that we have representing us on the national level will do things to us. And right now, when you look at your situation in South Bend, look like you in an opportunity, or you in a situation, you got a chance to do something for us by doing something on the community of African descent. When will you do so? That's what I want to know. When will you say that you are ready to not just talk that noise, but walk that noise? That's what I need. We need you to use your executive power to make things closer to being right. I know you can't make it right, but closer to being right in South Bend. That's what we need. And in Lakeisha, I'm very disappointed with you. You came to the meeting. You said that you was going to look out for the community, and you didn't. What are you saying, Tony? Pete is only going after the ones who vote in South Bend, which is 60% of the whites. Blacks are only 28%. That may be, but he can't win the presidency just with the votes in South Bend. And he has said that he has not done what was necessary to be done in South Bend. Well, we're telling him what is necessary to be done. This is a statement that was put out by Pastor Mario Sims, who is a pastor there in South Bend. And you can call him, Mayor Pete. His number is 574-298-0110. Give him a call. Put him into the mix. EFFI, Economic Freedom Fighters of Indiana, we stand with him. We stand with Pastor Sims. We don't stand for the people in South Bend. We stand with the people in South Bend. These are the demands that the people in South Bend are making. And we stand with them in their demands. If we are going to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and try to solve them together, then what the people in South Bend ask for, what the brothers and sisters in South Bend ask for, we stand with what they ask for. So you're going to be, let's see, the 31st. You're going to be on the stage again, Mayor Pete. And you are in a unique position. You're in a position to where is that nobody else has. What are you saying there, Tony? Peter's after the gay vote as well, and rightfully so. He should be after everybody's vote. But what I'm saying is, in order to get our vote, he's got to do something for us. Everybody wants to do something for us. Who is this? Now you're gonna have to call me later. You're gonna have to call me later. That's Mayor Pete. He wanna call. He wanna talk now. No, I'm not talking now. Call me later. You know, in fact, don't call me. Call Pastor Sims. Pastor Sims is there. We're standing with the people in South Bend. We're not standing for them. Oh Lord, Pete, Mayor. No, not now. We're not going to do it. We're going to talk to you later. Call, look, this is the number. Pastor Sims, 574-298-0110. But now, Tony, see, and you making a point there. The blacks only vote if they got someone that looks like him. That's not all the way true. But it definitely was true when you talk about Barack Obama. But see, and I'm a race man, but race cannot be the only criteria that you use to determine who it is that you will give your support to. If you are getting kicked in the butt by a black man, you know, or a black woman, it don't feel no better. You still kicked in the butt. If a gay fella is trying to help you prevent you from being kicked, then if you in a burning house, to use Martin Luther King's analogy, if you're in a burning house, boy, you don't care who it is that will help you get out of the house. You don't care if they white, black, gay, indifferent. What would it look like you in a burning house and a gay guy come to help you get out of the burning house, and you say, nah, I want a black man. Let me burn. Let me burn. Derek, what's up with you? I want to burn. No, that's foolish. If the gay guy is coming, well, I don't mess with gay people. Well, that's okay. But accept the help to get out of the burning house. Don't stay in the house. Wouldn't you agree, Derek? You got to get out of the house. I'm telling you. And see, I'm Tony, I am pro you and me. I am pro people of African descent. But I can't give you a pass if you are a person of African descent and you're a traitor. If you're working against the community, I can't support you. Voting against, voting for City County Proposal 258 in the form that it is, that's not in our interest. That's traitorous. That's selling us out. Andre, standing up on in Washington D.C. and we're asking it, yeah, quickly, on your own, Derek, by all means. But if you need some help, don't refuse help. I don't care who it is. Amen. But I'm saying, now watch this. You trying to get out of the house. A black person or a person of African descent is standing at the front door, holding the door closed so that you can't get out. But a gay guy goes around the back and opens the back door. Are you going to keep pushing on the front door because you don't want the help of the gay guy at the back door? Yeah. Get out of the house, but accept the help to get you out of the house. And I'm telling you, Mayor Pete, If you release the Boykin recordings, settle Eric Jack Logan's civil suit, don't take his family through all that BS. You know the police wasn't right. You know that they have broken protocol. They have broken the guidelines. And see, if you talking about that the police officer that done the shooting didn't have his camera on, the police officer that transported Eric to the hospital didn't have his camera on, the other police officer that showed up didn't have his camera. Now you're talking about a conspiracy. Now you're talking about they done said, look, we need to kill this guy and we don't want no record of it. Follow what you say. We have no permanent friends. We only have permanent interests. I couldn't have said it any better than myself. And our interest, if we in a burning house, is to get out. If the black man is at the door, pushing on the door, stopping us from getting out, and the gay guy is at the back door, opening it, then I'm going with the gay guy. Because he's helping me to get out of the house. It is time for us to quit giving our people a pass just because they look like you and me. It's time for it to stop. And so that's the reason why on the local level, we have to support D-Ross against Lakeisha Jackson. And we got to support Antonio Lipscomb against Zach Adamson. And whoever the Republican is running against Eric. We got to get with him. Derek, what you say? As a matter of fact, let the house burn down. And as we all standing in the ashes, then we need to come together and build. We're trying to save a house that is in foreclosure. Now, I hear you. I hear you. And I'm not talking about standing in a house that is owned by somebody else. I'm talking about our house. I'm talking about one we built. And I'm talking about that it is burning. Yeah, let it burn down. I ain't mad. Let it burn down if it's somebody else's house. If that house is oppressing us, or the people in that house is oppressing us, yeah, burn it down. In fact, get out of it and burn it down on itself. Okay, look, you've been listening to Elder Mmoja Ajabu, your host, for After Naked Truth. Unbought, unbossed, and unafraid. Blessed are those who struggle, for oppression is worse than the grave. It's much more noble to fight for a cause than to live and die enslaved. You know, I don't have but one question for you. You ready?
This is not a test.
If you listen to this program, you're going to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. This program is X-rated.
You ready? You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You are now tuned into the world's most honest talk show host.